Figure we do. I mean, this is the natural day to look at the positives and negatives of this Cardinal season. But for the purposes of right now, and I know he's baked into a lot of this, let's try to set Kyler Murray aside.
Yeah.
Because we'll get to him separately later. He's his own thing.
If ever there were positives and negatives,
yes.
Correct?
He's like the face of that. So for anybody that tunes in like 4 minutes and is like, why won't they criticize Kyler? We will.
Yes.
Just in 10 minutes. We're talking about the rest of the team right now.
And we'll also give him credit where credit is due.
Yes. But as far as the rest of the team, where do you want to start? I mean, I think we already talked about Trey McBride. That might have been the biggest positive development of this season. So I think we could probably set that now aside unless you have anything else you want to add.
Well, we're going to mention it, are we not?
We're mentioning it right now.
Yeah, the fact that Trey McBride, one of the best tight ends in the football universe, of course. I'm going to start there. One of the other positives that I'm going to look at is the rushing attack was really, really strong.
Yeah.
Especially when their offensive line was healthy right now. To me, they've got to improve their offensive line. If you're asking me where my focus is right now, as a general manager, it's on the offensive line. And how much better can that offensive line get? That is a positive, though, that I'm going to put in that positive category because when they were healthy, they played well.
Are you talking depth? Are you talking, do you think they need more than one new starter? Like, if everybody's healthy, do you like the actual starting offensive line, or is it maybe they need to add maybe two starters there and then obviously depth? You always need depth.
For me, if you're asking me right now based on earnings, I'll take Will Hernandez coming off that ACL if he's ready to go, of course. And by all accounts, he will be ready to go. I'll take him, and I'll put him at left guard.
Okay.
That's what I'll do. I'll stick him out, brawler that he is. I'll stick him at left guard right now, and I'll go out and I'll draft a war daddy, as we like to say. And JG will even call him that, a war daddy, a guy that is a great offensive guard, interior offensive lineman. And you know what? You might be able to get him. You might be able to get a great guard at 16. I'm just saying. I know everyone's talking about edge, and you're right, rightfully so, but maybe you could actually go out there, I don't know, and get a little kooky in free agency and sign an edge.
Yeah. Well, that was my next question for you. Do you think it's easier to sign a potentially elite edge rusher and draft a guard, or vice versa?
Yeah, that's a great question right there.
I guess that depends on the year.
Debate. For me right now, if I'm investing in this offense and Kyler Murray, I've got to protect Kyler Murray. And that means I need a dude who's going to brawl. And if they get another guard, another interior offensive lineman, I think that'll not only add depth, of course, but make that offensive line stronger and better, and that's what they need to do.
I would say another positive this season was, kind of building off what you're saying with the running game, getting James Conner extended, but also getting Budda Baker extended. And then with Budda, just the secondary in general, just the evolution of the secondary. You know what you have in Budda. You know what you have in Jalen Thompson. I know he was a little up and down earlier this season, but he's Jalen Thompson. But now you've added Rabbit. I think we all like Rabbit back there. Max Melton took steps forward. Garrett Williams definitely took steps forward. Star Thomas, your corner position, your young corners were such a question coming into this season. I'm not saying they're all established shutdown guys, but I think they all took noticeable steps. You don't have to be talked into the fact that Garrett Williams is better now than he was. If you watch the games, you know he's better than he was. And they're also all willing to fight Juwan Jennings if they have to in a game. They were just going to all fight him.
I did not expect that. I did not expect that right there. And you know what? I don't think Star Thomas and Sean Murphy Bunting expected that. No. What is going on with Juwan Jennings? Don't get me sidetracked.
And then he didn't leave for an hour and a half. Is he in the locker room yet?
He lost his mind. And based on earnings, I know what that's like. I'm not going to throw stones at somebody. I once in my 10-year career, I did lose my mind on a football field. I did. There's no doubt about it. I hit a guy 4 seconds after the whistle. That's losing it right there, okay?
A little late.
It's a little, it was a little late right there, but boy, it felt good.
I got to say, your tone isn't real apologetic right now.
Not to him. It did not feel good.
Maybe not so great.
But it felt really, really good to me. Having said that, once again, what are some of the other positives out here? I would say this. Your defense was not a weakness. It was not. You found a secondary, to your point. You found a secondary, man. Star Thomas, Garrett Williams, Max Melton, Buda Baker, Jalen Thompson. All these guys are coming back. They're buttoned up on the back end right now.
Feel pretty good about
I feel
secondary.
really, really good. And think about that coming into this season. We weren't thinking about that, basically. We were all like, man, how's that corner room going to be?
We've been looking for a corner all the way back to a corner opposite Patrick Peterson. That's how long it's been.
Yes.
It's been a conversation that's been a point of need. And I'm not saying that they would turn down another good corner this offseason, but it's not anywhere near the top of the priority list anymore.
Yes.
I would also, I would say, just kind of building off what you were saying with the defense, and I know I said this last year. I feel it more and more now, and it'll come up, I guess, in the Kyler conversation too. But
yes.
The biggest thing to me, if you want to talk about if you have a quarterback that can get you to the playoffs and beyond, I think the way to do it is to be a defense-first team. And they actually might be able to do that. They're missing pieces now, obviously still. But like another strong offseason and these guys develop?
Man, for me, once again, if you could throw one dude into the mix, it would be a healthy Darius Robinson going forward, a healthy Darius Robinson, and he's going to develop into everything that I think he's going to be. I think his second year is going to be really, really good for Darius Robinson. So we're focusing on the positives right now, but we also wanted to talk about some of the negatives.
Yeah.
Did we not want to do that?
Oh, yeah. I've got my biggest one. It's probably the same as yours.
Okay, you started 6-4 and were in first place in the NFC West going into the bye week, and then you lost 5 of your last 7 games.
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
And the schedule got easier. It did get easier. It did on paper. It was easier. It was. What happened? What happened? And that's something that, again, JG and the coaching staff is going to have to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, you have to answer for that. I don't mean answer for it in the sense of somebody has to be fired. I mean, like, you have to get that fixed because that has been something. Look, it happened this year. It happened in 2021. We all know that. They started, 7-0, 10-2, and then just fell off a cliff. Now, that look, Jonathan Gannon wasn't here. Monty Ossenfort, a lot of this team wasn't here. It also happened in 2020. They started 6-3 after the Hail Murray and then finished, 8-8 and couldn't beat John Wolford to get into the playoffs. There may be a lot of...
I forgot about that.
I know. It just came up.
Oh, my goodness.
So there's
just kick me in the face, Luke.
Welcome back. Here's
broadcasting
a fry
right here.
Face. It's happened, though, if you're a Cardinals fan, it's happened to you. It's happened to this organization, even if a lot of the people involved are different. It has happened. So that to me, I'm with you. That's the biggest thing. They have to figure out how to fix that next year.
Yes, and it's also difficult as well. One of the biggest negatives, of course, the strength of your team didn't play up to its potential.
Yeah.
That is a negative to me right there. The offense didn't play well enough to win games in the clutch, especially big games. Did not do it when you had to have it. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk about the Carolina Panthers game. I'm going to do it right there. Boy, did that bother me. I know it bothered everybody.
Vacation.
I came in. I had to get it off my shoulders. I did, Basinonians, because it was so unthinkable to me that they would go and start that game the way that they did. And I know the offense scored 30 points in this game. I understand that. I get that. But it's not about how many points you score. It's about when you had the opportunity to beat somebody and win the game. How did you play then? Did you do enough to win the game? And to me, the defense was extremely disappointing in that game. Extremely disappointing. Even though the Carolina Panthers finished their season much better on an upbeat, no doubt about it. And Bryce Young really was playing so much better, no doubt. The Arizona Cardinals should have won that game. And the strength of their team, it eventually got going. It showed up. They scored 30 points. They couldn't make enough plays to win the game. Again, I will phrase it this way, knowing that the strength of the team, to me, has been their offense. It is. And yet, their offense didn't lose that game for the Arizona Cardinals, but they didn't win it either. And they should have won it, in my opinion.
It's crazy as you talk to think about it. You're right. I mean, the Cardinals' offense was supposed to be the strength this season. It wasn't. And Trey McBride had a historically great year, and they still weren't. That's
And James Conner.
Yeah, Conner
You
had
think
an
about James
amazing year
Conner.
too.
Rush for over 1,000 yards. And I understand you can talk about, well, if they play 17 games right now. Yeah, I get that.
Okay,
I
but he rushed for
understand
1,000 yards. He missed games at the end.
Exactly.
It didn't take him 17 games.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.